Hello, everybody. My name is Bob Friedenthal. On LinkedIn, I'm Bob Holt, Holt, Friedenthal, Friedenthal. And I am so lucky to be interviewing Dr. Doug Herr, who I've known for, oh my gosh, somewhere around a year. Got to be around a year?
It feels like we've known each other forever in some ways.
Well, I can't wait to get out there to see you,
Yeah.
Why don't you give us who you are, your credentials, phone numbers, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Doug Herr, as Bob has pointed out. I'm a clinical psychologist. I almost said licensed, but I retired that to go into coaching. I've done leadership development for the past, I guess, 9 years now, and I'm focusing really right now on financial fulfillment and money mindset, if you will, because it's such a powerful topic. If you look up, a lot of people, and have you ever heard of golden handcuffs?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So us old school guys know that phrase. You're not necessarily in love with what you're doing, but you got to have the paycheck, so you stay in it. And the truth is, fulfillment isn't about money. It's about, 10% of it. And it's a sure and important 10%.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's on the inside. So that's something I'm really focused on because it's been a big issue in my own life. And right now, though, we're on the last day of January. We're recording this. And so we were talking a little bit before the recording. We want to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions. And what are you going to do different this year? And I think that's a great place to start.
I love it. I love it. And before we started this interview, Doug and I talked about it, that we become a victim of our own demise, that
Yeah.
we find the ways to shoot ourselves in the foot, and we do all these New Year's resolutions and do all that stuff, and then you come into January, end of January, and what percentage of the people fail at their New Year's resolutions?
That's a great question, and I wish I had that top of mind. But probably let's just go with most.
Yeah.
And honestly, and it's usually within a week or two of right now that people forget that they even had a resolution until like this summer they realize they don't have a beach body and what was I thinking? And
Yep. Yep.
it can all go by the wayside very quickly.
Very
Yeah.
quickly.
And that's, so one of the things that's most important about that is if we beat ourselves up over it, it doesn't help anything. Okay. So the biggest issue in my life has always been self-judgment. And I think, the really frustrating part is if there's something about yourself that you really want to change, you might even judge yourself for being a certain way, whatever it is. Right. And if you do that, if you judge yourself for the things that you don't like about yourself, as it turns out, all the learning and motivation centers in your brain go dark.
That's
So,
a great statement. Great statement.
yeah, except for if you're living it, then it's not so great, right? Because this is a tragedy, right? We really just want to change things and move forward in a better way, be the people we know we can be. And it's so hard to feel like, oh, I'm just not making it. Well, so New Year's is a time when that comes up really big, right? And we've all done it, and the thing is, we can make a New Year's resolution and not have, proper information. My biggest thing is, what if you don't know how to work your own brain? Because who taught you? Right? We mostly unconsciously learn how to use ourselves by how we were raised as kids. And some of those habits are so strong for us, we think that's who we are. And we
I
don't
love what
realize.
you're talking about. I love it. By the way, just not to interrupt, but my daughter has a doctorate in psychology,
Yeah.
and it always comes back to the same theme. You know, she just went off on her own. She's making a ton of money. People need somebody to help get them out of the trench, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
So, and we were talking about his mindset. And in this situation, you were calling it, if I'm not mistaken, money mindset.
Well, that's just something I'm really fond of right now. And I think is going to be a focus for I don't know, maybe the rest of my career, because so many people are trying to choose between finances and fulfillment, or not realizing, that they're really kind of separate things. You need to be able to look at your finances and your fulfillment as both being important.
Well, let's do this. I came up with, the brain can't turn it off. There's a 1, 2, 3 step in this, right? What's step number 1? First, I suspect it's recognition.
Yeah, you've got to recognize the issues as they're happening. Sure.
So,
Okay. I was like,
what's
Bob,
number
where are you
2?
going with it?
What's number 2?
Number 2 is pause and have a practice that reorients your brain, right? And step number 3 is take effective action in a new way.
Another way of saying that, accountability.
Yes, that is definitely big. So accountability to me is having someone who helps you to have an accurate mirror. In a lot of corporate language right now, accountability is about, kind of misunderstood as a judgment word. Like, well, we're going to have to hold you accountable because you haven't been living up to standard. We really need to notice people when they are living up to standard. Yep. And what we want is not to go in that place of judgment, but really to stay in a place of discernment, right? Judgment makes your brain go dark, but without proper discernment and accurate feedback, you won't necessarily know how you're doing.
So how do we become successful in understanding and follow through? One is probably contact you.
Yeah, and I never did share my contact information. But we can do that at the end if people are interested.
Yeah.
The truth is we do things together, right? As a species, socially is how we succeed. We the whole no man is an island thing.
Yeah.
The science is in. There's a guy, Sean Acor, is one of my favorite humans and a great author. And he studied like thousands of kids from Harvard and realized this actually isn't just about Harvard kids, it's about all of us. They studied what makes people successful, and I'll just cut to the chase. There was no variable that made people successful except for one, and it was social network. Not social network on Facebook.
I get it.
Social network
of get it too.
People who are important in your life that you're connected with. That loads on joy and success in life more than anything. So it's, we do these things together. Who Not How is another little book that basically says, if you want, to change your mindset, you can try and figure it all out yourself, and that's cool. Or you can hire somebody who likes to do that kind of thing. And I'm definitely one of those people. After decades as a clinical psychologist and then being on faculty at Vanderbilt as a health psychologist, working with chronic pain and disease, I started working with what's right about people. Because with chronic pain, if you spend all your time on what's wrong, you realize there's no salvation in that. There's no way out. We need to focus on what's deeper and more important and what's right about people. I also started working with doctors, and I still do that, and I love it. And, because doctors are stressed out and burned out. It's a really tough system right now that they're in. It's changing fast. And so they need some support. The bottom line is, the things that I've learned about how to help people include, having a deep understanding of what's holding you back, having accountability. Whenever we work with doctors, we work in a group. Sometimes when I work with people, I'm the group, and that's cool too. But it's so important that we have somebody outside of us. I can't see what I look like unless I've got an accurate mirror over there giving me feedback. And the higher you are up the food chain, the harder it is to get good feedback, right?
So one, you mentioned understanding. That's key.
We need to understand that we're in a moment where we're self-sabotaging.
Yep.
And that's a moment where, we're either avoiding an issue, we're demanding something that can't be demanded, right?
Right.
Or we're trying to earn something that can't be earned.
So number 2 is accountability.
Well, no, number 2 is, it starts with self-accountability. If we recognize the moment, that's number 1. The truth is, you don't have a mindset. You have many. And your brain, when it detects a threat, will pull a mindset up.
What's number 3?
Well, hang on. Number 1 is recognize it. Number 2 is pause. And that's your first accountable to yourself. And then you have accountability with somebody else. Number 3 is based on new information and having control of your own mind, you take effective action based on your values, not just your impulses.
I wondered what number 3 was going to be, but effective action. That is so crucial.
And it might feel really strange. Yeah. The truth is, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got, right? It's really simple.
Love it.
And most of us fail at our New Year's resolution because we never resolved the old year.
Yep.
And that's living in the back of our mind, guiding our thinking. We need to get that stuff dealt with. We clear it.
Bingo.
And there's really important research on that. And
let's stay with this. Let's stay with this because we agreed at the beginning of this that we would keep it short and sweet. We want to keep it
absolutely.
10 minutes. We're already going to exceed this.
I can't believe it.
I know. And then when we do the write-up, let's make sure that we put some of this stuff in here. We never did your credentials. Who are you? What's your contact information?
Right. Okay. So yes, Dr. Douglas Herr. I'm at Dr. Doug Herr, drdoughher.com. That's DRDOUGHERR.com. And you can reach out to me on my business line as well. It's 615-397-3304. And yeah, I'm a coach.
Email. What's an email?
Email is drdoughher@gmail.com.
Beautiful. Hey man, I'm loving this because we actually, first of all, lived to what we said we were going to do, try to keep it down to a 10-minute, conversation. And I think we hit one of the areas that is so important. I can't wait to share this with my daughter, but yeah, we covered 3 steps, 1, 2, 3 steps, right? But the real key to this thing
recognize the moment, hold yourself accountable, and mix your mind with somebody else's so you get fresh ideas, and then go a new direction with effective action.
That's why your phone number is so important. Ladies and gentlemen, listening to this, get off your rear ends and make the call to Doug. I think what you'll do is you'll find that, you can tell that he's got the mental bandwidth and capacity to deal with this. Now it's up to you to take action for yourself, right?
Yeah. Each one of those steps is a deep well. And if you recognize it and can do it on your own, fantastic. If you want some support in it, I'm here for people who want to do that. So
for information about me, my name is Bob Holt, Holt. Last name spelled FRIEDENTHAL. I always say that's the biggest difficulty in dealing with me is just spelling my name.
It's a true story.
And if you have any questions about Doug, or you have any questions, would like an interview, whatever it is for yourself, my phone number is area code 310-736-5787. That's a mobile number, so you can call me or text me. And my email address is bob@mycity, and again, .com. And also you can find me on LinkedIn, Bob Holt Friedenthal. And there's actually another Bob H. Friedenthal on LinkedIn, so I have to spell my name out. How many people do you know that have the last name Friedenthal for a starter? Well, Bob Holt is another one. And if you have Alexa, go ask your Alexa, who is Robert Holt Friedenthal? I just did this about 3 weeks ago, and it mentioned that I was with NATO, an ambassador of NATO. That was 50 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. 50
Wow.
years ago. Now, I'm not sure what yours is going to say, but I've been telling my friends about this. And just to hear this kind of an understanding is pretty cool. All right. So we're done. Thank you so much. I appreciate this beyond belief, and I'm having a ball. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I've done 200 of these interviews at this point. That's not chicken feed, man. That's a lot of interviews. Year and a half. I just picked up the phone and I started calling people and setting up these interviews, and it took off beyond my wildest imagination. So this is a great way to get yourself in front of people. Put the human aspect in there, right?
Well, and Bob is a great guy to hang out with. I'll vouch for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good stuff. I can't wait to see what this looks like. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.